It's like about $10,000 a month, right? The only problem is Courtney made all of this money on OnlyFans after she was accused of stabbing her boyfriend to death in April of 2022. So she kept posting 4 months after her boyfriend died because he had a knife in his chest. He was literally stabbed to death. And she kept posting. She kept making money. She was out there. She was actually running around town in Hawaii doing a lot, going to bars. So let's talk about the viral case of Courtney Taylor. She is often known as the OF model that has been arrested and charged with murder.
Well, this is not Ace. This is George. This is George.
I'm an imposter. Ace is back in his ass.
You want the best, and you got the best. The hottest man in the world. Ace Frehley.
I want you.
Kind of like a spaceman. Huh?
No, actually, I'm a plumber.
Where are you?
From Brooklyn, Canarsie, originally.
So is Peter Chris.
Yeah. You and I went to 2 different schools together. I think we might get along. And if you don't, Ace, you could hang up on me. You could walk away. What a putz. Who set me up with this fucking guy out the gate? But
What's your name?
Stefan.
Stefan what?
Adika.
Spell what?
Stefan Adika. A-D.
If you've seen it, you know that there are questions about whether what Jimmy did is legal. And not only whether it's legal, but also whether the things that he does would actually work in this bar disciplinary hearing and whether the evidence that he generates would be admissible in court. I think I finally know how everything connects and whether it's accurate or not. So let's dig in to Better Call Saul, chicanery.
Charles thinks that Jimmy somehow took control of your documents while he was working on them at his home. He believes Jimmy transposed the address numbers.
Transpose the numbers? How would he even do that?
Charles contends that Jimmy took the documents pertaining to the Rosella branch, and while Charles was indisposed, photocopied and doctored them.
That's pretty Baroque.
Okay, so this is the background to the episode, and it is true that under the rules of professional conduct, if a lawyer realizes that a document has been fabricated, they have an obligation to tell the tribunal or the court that it has been
is going through a really low period in their life. When you're struggling, it begs the question, can you really overcome any failure or any pain or regret or mistake that you've made in your life? And if I were to tell you that there's absolutely no mistake that will keep you from becoming who you're truly meant to be, would you actually believe me? Well, after today, you will, because you're about to meet a remarkably inspiring person who has been knocked down over and over and over again. And she knows the secret to getting back up, to finding your power, even when you feel powerless. When you were little, you once thought anything was possible. This episode today will remind you it still is, because there is nothing that you've done that.
If you were to bet money on each of those.
Incompetent, insane, or evil?
Insane meaning he's lying to everyone, but also to himself, which is a little bit different than incompetence.
He's not incompetent. So I think he's some combination of insane and evil, but it's impossible to know unless we know deep inside his heart how deluded he is versus a calculated strategy. And I think if you look at SBF, I think he's a fascinating individual.
Park. He decides to take a smoke break right then and there. He honestly thought that she probably would need a ride back. I mean, no taxi was going to stop in the middle of the park for her to get onto the taxi. It's near the river at 3 a.m. I think nothing good can happen to a young girl roaming around looking for a ride at this time. So he's smoking it up and he looks up. It's been about, 15, 20 minutes? And there she is again. And he's just watching her as she walks out of the park towards him, and her suitcase looks very light all of a sudden. Because, you know. Earlier, it was dragging on the wheels. It was kind of forcing her body to lean a little bit forward to pull it. And now it's practically flying around as she's moving it about. The girl asked him for a ride back. The whole energy seemed strange. It seemed like she didn't even notice that it was the same taxi driver. And he kept glancing at her in the rearview mirror as he drove her to her destination. Something in his gut told him, this isn't right.
The Disney Channel is on the air.
In the spring of 1977, Jim Jamiro, a visionary at the Walt Disney Company, went to his higher-ups about an idea for a children's and family network called the Disney Channel, a variety show of sorts that would entertain the masses. Unfortunately, in the late 70s, there were only about 1.2 million cable subscribers nationwide, and although Disney executives liked the idea, they essentially laughed in Jim's face. He is quoted saying, "Back then we could have done it for 50 cents. Everybody liked the idea, but the truth is nobody took it seriously." Their reaction was essentially, "Jim, go do your 8mm home movies."
We did the channel because we did a lot of research that showed that there are literally tens of millions of people across this country who really wanted a kind of wholesome or family programming that wasn't being offered. Benton & Bowles advertising agency did a study fairly recently that indicated that something like 33% of the people who don't
asking myself because it's easier when I ask direct, and I know Christy, so yeah. But I was like, it's nicer when there's. I told my team too. I was like, it's so much nicer when there's like a personal connection,
for sure,
and someone really feels comfortable rather than it's like a PR thing.
No, it was so perfect. Like when I think back to it, I'm like, that was me just trusting the universe and not pushing for anything, and I knew it was going to kind of happen when it was supposed to, and it literally did.
And it did,
so
yeah.
You felt it too.
Yeah, I did. That means a lot to me. Yeah, and I hope that this is the start of spending more time together. Genuinely.
Me too.
Yeah, off camera too.
I would love that because, like, I think also, I don't know, like, I admire people like you. I admire, like, you know, the Michael Polans and Michael Singers and Wim Hofs of the world. And I feel like you fit in that category for me of just people that are, because, you know, I know a little bit about your story. I'd like to actually know more, which would be really cool to actually, I know we're obviously not here for that exactly. But for me, just personally, like, I'd love to know more of your story. I know that